Well, dang it. For those of you that have been following my episodes, yeah, big bummer here. So I got the update yesterday and it erased my game. This is, I don't want to say an issue, but this is one of the things that they do. So to avoid save compatibility problems due to the changes in the game world, any unfinished deliveries were canceled with no penalty for you. If necessary, your truck was parked to a safe place. So in other words, you just lost that sweet load that you were carrying to Great Britain. Sorry. Yeah, sucks. The good news is we are on our way to Scandinavia, and I just wanted to introduce it. This is not going to be a review yet, but I wanted to introduce it into gameplay. I did buy the DLC after the update because I figured, well, if they're going to reset it anyway, I might as well get the next great thing. And so I purchased Scandinavia. I also purchased the high value cargo pack for your guys' viewing pleasure and my driving pleasure. And I got to say, I am super impressed with Scandinavia. There's some really cool scenery up there, and we're going to go ahead and work our way that way. Now, I wanted to see, let's see, company manager. I think that you can only have 3 people. Yeah, trucks assigned drivers. So you can only have 3. I was thinking of hiring somebody else and then running my own, like just running free jobs so we could hop right to Scandinavia and get jobs that are up there. But I don't think that's going to work. We have to, unfortunately, these guys, you have to have, my garage is full is what I'm getting at. So at some point I will upgrade. Right now, I'm at 99% productivity, which is excellent, mostly due to my major truck. But, all right, so let's go ahead and pick a job, and we will get moving towards Scandinavia. Unfortunately, they reset me to Warsaw, so, or Warzawa, or however you pronounce it. I think it's Warsaw. So I'm skunked. What'd I just do? I want to go to the freight market. And we're going to obviously start at Warsaw. Oh, look at this. But that's going the wrong way. Dang it. Here's another high value cargo right here. This guy. That's headed the wrong way. That gets getting us closer. This thing's worth a lot. That's a $41,000 job. That's probably one of the highest paying ones there. Where's that going? DK? Oh, here's one of the high value cargoes. So we could get two, or not high value, but high, what they call high power cargo. And I got the horsepower we need, baby. Doesn't pay as much, but it goes further. So we're getting less money per mile. What do you guys think? I think we're going to take the high power cargo trip because look, this is one of the new. Actually, it added several new companies. Cellplan, Norxon, I think this Renard, all of these I think are new. This Carrefour, I don't think these were in the game before. I could be wrong, but I think it added a bunch of new industries too. Whoa! Hopping truck. All right, so the road's behind us, so we need to get turned around here. Probably help if I put it into drive. And right away my mirrors are missing. Wait, no, wrong button. Oh, my GPS was missing too. How do you like that? Now this truck is nice because it has that GPS cargo on the dashboard, or GPS thingy readout. Starting out rough here, guys. It's been a long night. Had a frustrating remote control day in the last 2 days. Thursday, because it's been kind of calm in the evening, so I've been wanting to go out and fly. I haven't flown, I mean, all year. It's been pretty much almost a year since I've actually been able to go out and really enjoy my remote control airplane. So I got all my planes charged up, and my first flight I have a T-28 Trojan with an 800 800 millimeter wingspan, which is about like 28, 30 inches, somewhere around there. So it's not a real big airplane, but it's a fun little airplane to fly. And it looks pretty good, and it's, you know, kind of realistic looking. I even have flaps installed on it, and I took that one out for the first flight of the season, and for some reason I just was having issues with power. I don't know if I need new batteries. Let me get turned here. That probably is what it is that it needs a new battery setup. Maybe it needs a new motor. It has a lot of flights on it, probably 300 plus flights. Well, anyway, it was a new flying field that I went to because all my normal flying fields had stuff going on. One of them had a baseball game. One of them had I don't know if there was like at the fairgrounds where I normally go. It's I can't turn and talk. At the fairgrounds where I normally go, it's usually empty, so there's nothing going on. But they had some kind of horse show or something Thursday night when I went there. I'm like, great. So there's like all these horse trailers in the parking lot that I use for my runway. It's this huge parking lot. It's perfect for small to medium size RC airplanes for runways. But in this case, it was kind of packed out. So I was like, well, I'll head up to Huffman, and I got up there, and that one has some nice long parking lots too, but unfortunately there were people getting ready to play, what is it, lacrosse? They do lacrosse around here a lot, and so they were setting up for a game, so there were cars in the parking lot, and there were people on the field, and I'm like, oh, dang it. So my last stop, I went to our church, where we've been going to church there for a couple months now, and they have a real nice parking lot up, and it's up on a hill, so it's kind of above everything, so you don't really have any obstacles like trees or anything that you can get into. And trying to figure out where I'm supposed to go here. Hang on. So anyway, I went up there, but the problem is they're building a new building, so there's all kinds of construction equipment at the ends of the runways, and well, runway's the parking lot, but to me, the end of the runway. And so I just couldn't get it together, you know? Oh, this is a huge trailer. Yikes. Maybe just physically it looks like that. Let's see here. If I go outside. Whoa, loud. Yeah, I guess it's about the same size. It might be a hair longer than the box trailer that's right there, but it's about the same size. It's really not that big. Alright, so anyway, so I went up there, and I'm bringing... this is turning into a really long story, sorry. But what else are we doing? We got hours to drive, right? 17 hours is this trip, so... Unfortunately, I'm not going to call this episode High Value Cargo, or High Power Cargo DLC, because if I put Scandinavia on there and we're not in Scandinavia, people are going to be mad, because they'll be like, well, wait, you said the Scandinavia. So for those of us that know and are just here to watch the video, well, we'll pretend. But you guys are aware that we're going to Scandinavia. We're going to end up in Denmark, so we'll see part of it because we're going to be driving through Denmark. Though I will say parts of Denmark are not that spectacular, but I gotta say the ferry dock is beautiful. At least the one that I went to. The first time to get to Norway, there was just a gorgeous ferry dock with the beaches, and like you could see the ocean, and it was really cool. And then getting off on the other side, we actually drove out of the ferry, which was really cool. I don't remember that being in the game, but maybe I missed it. So anyway, I'm flying around with the Trojan, and in order to approach the longest runway with the wind, I had to fly over the church building. Warning. Or fly in and make a hard turn, like a short final. Usually with that airplane, I line it up pretty good. And so I brought it in. Everything was going well. Put the flaps on. And, you know, now that I think about it, maybe it's related. Okay, so anyway, I pulled back on the stick as I pulled, I made my turn into the final, got lined up with the runway, and was descending with no, nose down attitude, but not hard nose down. And I pulled back on the sticks, and nothing happened. And so I gave it a little bit of power because I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh yeah, this trailer is long. Ooh, I almost hit that truck. And I'm like, oh my gosh, and like this, it just was dead stick. So the motor came up, and I got it, you know, a little bit up, but it smacked down hard into the ground, and it went down. Yeah, obviously nose first, because the nose was, I was in a nose down attitude coming in for landing, and I don't flare until I'm maybe a foot or two off the ground. Well, since I pulled back and there was no flare, the airplane just nosed right into the ground, broke 2 blades off the propeller, and bent the motor shaft. So I was like, oh, dang it, you know, and it's fine. I was able to fix that airplane, just so you know, and the end of the story is, and we'll get there, but we got time. Make sure I pull out here nice and don't hit that fence. Good, perfect. So I was a little torqued about that, but I was like, okay, well, it happens. I'll just fix it up. You know, I got more props at home. And if not, I can just run to the store. They're only $2 or $3 for a prop, so I can get a new prop. I can straighten in. I've bent that shaft before. I can straighten it again, or I can even modify it and make it a little bit thicker because it's a real thin shaft, and long. And that's always a bad thing on the front of an airplane, having a long, thin shaft, because that's a good way to get something bent. So, anyway, I brought it back to the car, took it apart, and I got my second airplane ready to fly. And this is an airplane that I just got last year. It's a Piper Cub, or a Piper Archer, I'm sorry. It's a low-wing aircraft, red top, white bottom, just gorgeous airplane. About a 40-inch wingspan. So it's still a small, considered park flyer size, little batteries, but it's just a real floaty, slow-flying scale airplane. And I'm a big scaler. I'm not into like airplanes that are aerobats. A lot of guys that do RC stuff are just totally into these airplanes that fly around at 900 miles an hour, and they, can float on their motor and, basically hover, and those are all cool and stuff. And I've flown them before, and I can do most tricks with them. I can hover them, I can fly inverted and do inverted loops and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not, I just want to fly around and look at a scale. It's probably like my same thing, and the same reason why I like this game. I like looking at trucks. I like driving trucks. It's just relaxing, and that's what I'm looking for in a plane too. I fly RC airplanes because I want to relax, not because I want to be stressed out and having this high-powered adventure. That can be fun, and I have a couple airplanes like that. But anyway, a vast majority of the airplanes that I fly are, if you look through my RC channel here on YouTube, or the RC playlist, you'll see I have a Park Zone Albatross, which is a nice big biplane. I have a lot of micro warbirds, so like Trojans. I had a P-51 Mustang that I trashed. Oops. I don't have too many airplane accidents, but once in a while I make a mistake. And then I also have a what else do I have? I got a Red Baron, like a little Fokker DR1 that's like totally micro. I think it's like a 10-inch or 15-inch wingspan. Piper Cub that I painted like an L4 Grasshopper. Just all kinds of, World War II era prop planes, and that's kind of what I dig. So this Piper was beautiful. Only had maybe 15 or 20 flights on it. Just a gorgeous airplane. And slow flyer, like I said, not real aerobatic, but just fun to kind of putz around, and it'll drop down to almost walking speed, so you can just really fly slow and scale and make it look like you mean it, And so I took this airplane off. I checked it. I know that I checked it. I went through all my settings. I checked the ailerons, I checked the elevator, and I checked the rudder. I always do, because I've had an issue before with my radio where it reverses some of my controls. If you charge the batteries and take them out to charge them, it'll forget some of your settings. Not all of them, but just like a setting here and there. Oh, Mater's in. What's up, mate?
I broke his arm.
Did you break your arm? Did Chubba fix it up for you? Yeah, he's got his arm all wrapped up. All right, keep that door closed, hon. Make sure you guys got it clean. Gotta fill this beast up. All right, off we go. It's getting to be towards the afternoon. Just put my first stage headlights on. Make sure cars don't drive up underneath me. Yeah, so anyway, I was checked everything. It all. I'm absolutely positive I checked the ailerons, because that's what it did to me last year. I have a little airplane called a polecat, and it reversed the ailerons on me last year on that airplane, and I took off, and thankfully it was a very small, like 15 or 16 inch wingspan airplane, and it went down in the grass. But it had reversed the ailerons, and I couldn't react fast enough. And it's really hard to fly with reversed ailerons, of course. It's like pressing left to go right and right to go left. It takes you a little while to figure that one out. So that airplane went down, and it was okay, though. It chipped a little teeny bit of the wingtip off, which I fixed with extra foam later and put back together. But unfortunately, this time I was not so lucky. I got off the ground, and whoa, I was going fast. And I biffed. I mean, I biffed hard. So I took off. The airplane got maybe like 7 or 8 feet off the ground, and it was out over the construction, the dirt. And I went to bank left and stay low, and it went right. And I couldn't get it. I tried the best I could to stop it from going down, but that was it. And this airplane, and that's the other thing too. This particular model of airplane, even though it's a very easy, slow-flying airplane, if you waggle it or you slam it back and forth, it loses stability and it will crash. And I've had 1 or 2 near misses with this airplane where I did lose stability because I was screwing around and jerking it left and right on the roll axis. And so that's what happened. So it just plummeted, and man, I lost it. It broke the nose cowl. It broke the propeller, which is not a big deal, but it scratched up the nose cone. It cracked the body in half, broke the wing off, and at the carbon spar, it actually snapped the carbon spar and broke the elevator in the back. And heartbroken. Just a gorgeous airplane, and now it's smashed to bits. And so I went out and assessed the damage, and I was really mad at that point. I was like, dang it, so I took it home, and I quit for the night. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm done flying, because who wants to fly after that, right? So I packed everything up and angrily chucked the radio in the car. Unfortunately, I can't really do anything about it because the radio's 2 years old, so it's out of warranty, and I just have to really, really, really make sure that the ailerons aren't reversed after I charge the batteries. And going forward, I don't know what else to do. I don't have $500 to buy a new radio. This one I think I got on sale for $200 or something like that, or $180 something. But still, to replace that radio, it's going to be like $300 or $400. I mean, it's an expensive radio, so. I'm bummed out. So anyway, I just gave up for the night and went home. And then the next night, but I still have all these charged batteries, and I don't know if you guys know anything, but the lithium polymer batteries that these new electric airplanes use, they have to be discharged within probably a week. It's really not good. Even that's kind of a stretch. It's really not good for them to be fully charged, just sitting there, because it actually wears the cells out. Let's scoot over here. This guy's going really slow. So you have to discharge them. So I'm like, well, I better go fly. I need to, definitely fly the Trojan, and I need to, because I got that going on. And I need to fly. I had another airplane charged up. My huge. I have a 50-inch wingspan sport plane that needed to be flown, and that has really big batteries. And so I was like, well, I'll take these 2 out and fly them, but I need to get it done. So I went out again yesterday. Yesterday was Friday, so Thursday was the night that I crashed. Friday was the night that I went out again, and this time I had taken parts off the Piper and put them on my Trojan, because my Trojan, was kind of a cattywampus job on the flaps. I did them myself, and it was not a perfect job. So now I was like, well, now I got the parts at least from the other airplane. I took it apart and put good stuff on the Trojan, so now it's flying great. So I'm like, I wanted to try it out, though, so I'm like, well, I'll test this one out, and I'll take the other plane out and I'll get those batteries discharged. So I get out there to the field, and I'm up there flying, and the Trojan, the first flight went great. Came in, had a beautiful landing, with the flaps down, the airplane slows down, and everything is right. And then I went up again for a second flight, and about a minute into the flight, I'm passing over the field, and I'm flying a nice straight line. I wanted to do a loop. So I jam back on the elevator, no response. So I'm thinking, now that I'm talking about it, I think what happened was that something happened with the radio frequencies, and I lost contact when I was landing the airplane at the church, and that's why I went in and crashed, because when I pull the elevator up, I get a lot of response, like almost too much response. The airplane's real touchy. It's a little jumpy airplane. And but to have no response is really weird. It is just not at all like that airplane. So this time it did it again, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm losing radio signal. And then it popped back, and I had it after maybe like 10 or 15 feet of flying, I had control back again. I'm like, okay, well, it's just a fluke. Maybe the servo is going bad, so I was making the airplane go up and down and up and down. No problems. So I'm coming back through that area again, and I start to do a roll, and I decide to bail out. Well, the airplane keeps rolling and does not respond to my reverse input. So now I can't control the airplane, and it's turning itself upside down, and I'm now, at this point, I'm panicking. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose this airplane too. Oh, look, there's a helicopter up there. You guys see that? Let's see if I can. There he is. Maybe that's the airplane that's in the helicopter that's in the high value cargo. See him? Traffic check. Anyway, but thankfully, in about 5 feet, I did get control back. And after that happened, I'm like, I'm done. I'm bringing this airplane in, and I'm going home. I'm just going to use the charger. I have a charger that has a storage setting, and I can discharge my batteries. It takes a long time. In fact, I'm still doing it. I got a battery. If you hear a beeper go off during this episode, it's because I'm discharging the batteries for the big airplane. But I was like, I'm done. Obviously, I'm having radio problems. So funny thing, I'm talking to my friend Curtis. He's my flying buddy. And if you watch some of my videos, you'll see Curtis. He's a big fella like me. And he is he's the guy that is the manager of the cable department here in Medina, Ohio. He's in charge of the local division of he's over the whole thing, which is crazy. That's another story I'm going to tell you in a minute. But so I'm talking to Curtis on the phone. I tell him what happens. He says, you know what? I was flying my drone out at the flying field, which is about 14 miles northwest of my location. Maybe less, maybe 10 miles northwest. And he says, I was out there the other day with my drone, and I got locked out. And my drone went full speed into the ground. Like, it took off, shot forward at full speed, like 40 miles an hour, and just started flying away. And then took itself all the way down into the grass and smashed itself up. Now, in his case, the damage wasn't so bad. He had to get new props. And I think he said there was like one part of the gimbal. He has a camera on there that the gimbal broke, but he's going to, it's like a $10 or $15 part. He was able to get it replaced. So he's, but Curtis had that happen. So he got locked out. And then he said earlier this week, somebody else got locked out with one of their airplanes, and the airplane went into the trees. So, conspiracy theory, what the heck is going on with the radio frequencies in Medina that all of a sudden these radios that have worked, both of my radios have worked flawlessly. Now, I didn't lose signal with my good radio, the one that keeps reversing channels, but my $32 radio that I have hooked up to the Trojan, the one that lost signal at the park, I've been flying that radio for 3 years, and I've never had signal issues with that radio, ever. That radio has been rock solid. And so to hear that 2 other people have been having problems, I don't know if our 2.4 gigahertz bandwidth is getting saturated with cell signals, or if there's some kind of experiment going on in our area, which I doubt. I think it's probably more of the prior, that there's so much cellular activity and cellular data and 2.4 gigahertz interference from cell phones and networks and stuff. But Herb's, the place where the drone got lost and the other airplane crashed, there's nothing out there. He's out in the country. He's on Earhart Road in I guess it would be considered Litchfield. It's an airplane field that's made of grass. It's a grass strip airfield out in the middle of the country. It's surrounded by farms. The nearest neighbor is like probably 20 acres away. So to have those kind of connection problems, it's really bizarre. But anyway, that's what has been going on in my RC world. So I'm kind of bummed now. I wanted to go out today and finish off the batteries for the big airplane, take a risk and get out there. But unfortunately, now it's really windy out, so I'm just discharging batteries and calling it a loss. And I'll have to try again later. But that thing with the radio and the reversals made me really sad. Now the cute thing is my daughter Evelyn, you guys know her from the Farm Simulator. She's like, I'll buy. She got her birthday money and she got like $200. She's like, I'll help you buy an airplane, Dad. And I'm like, what? So and I'm like, no, you don't have to do that. She's like really wanting to buy me and help me buy another airplane. So I'm like, well, we'll see. They're not too expensive. They're probably like $60 or $70. Yeah, maybe a little more. Some of them are about $100. But I have all the parts from the old airplane, so it's like I can buy just a kit that has no electronics and then put the electronics in from the Piper Cub or the Piper Archer. But anyway, I thought that was cute that she offered to do that. I probably will not take advantage of that. I want her to have her money, but she was like, no, I'm going to give it to you. You're just going to get it. And I'm like, you don't have to do that. And she's like, but I want to. So freaking cute, because she knew I was so sad. I really was sad. That was a beautiful airplane. So now I'm looking at a Piper Cub to replace it. They just came out with a balsa clipped wing Cub. And my airplanes are all foam. And I'd like to try. I've always wanted to get a balsa airplane because they're pretty cool looking. They look a little different. They are a little more scale, though you can see through the skinning, but they tend to hold their paint a little bit better than the foam airplanes. So that might be my next airplane. I'll put a video up obviously once I get it. But I'm looking at the Park Zone or Hobby Zone clipped wing Cub. So probably a better flyer than the Archer. Like I said, the Archer was a little bit... It's a very beginner airplane, so it has a lot of self-correction, which I don't particularly like. I'm a little bit past it, intermediate. I'm kind of moving into the advanced category with my flying skills because I've been flying for 3 or 4 years, and I've flown all kinds of stuff. I don't do well inverted. That's where I get lost. If I do inverted flight, I keep the airplane pretty high up off the ground because some of these guys can bring the airplane in upside down and skim their tail along the pavement. I'm not into that. The only time I've ever done that was by mistake, and I ended up actually in the pavement. So I'm making myself sound like a terrible pilot with all these quote unquote accidents. But I'll have you know that I have, except for the P-51 Mustang, which I basically ripped apart in anger because of the that was a bad story. I usually don't have a temper. It's funny. I don't get mad at people. I get mad at stuff. So this airplane, it's a little micro airplane, and you'll see me do a review of it. If you look through my channels, there's a review of it, and I say it's the worst review I've ever done. That airplane had more issues than you would possibly believe. It made me so, and I finally I ripped it apart, took all the electronics out, and upgraded a different airplane with the pieces from that airplane. So aside from that, that's the only airplane that I've lost. I've got about 10 or 11 airplanes. Most of them are micros, but I've got a couple bigger ones like the Albatross, the Switch. What's the other one? The Trojan, and I have a FW-190, a German Butcherbird. And those are all... Some of those airplanes have 400 or 500 flights on them because they're 4 or 5 years, and I fly them a lot. So I do pretty well with flying. I'm not as scrubbish as I sound. Sometimes, actually a lot of times you'll have mishaps with these airplanes and they continue to fly just fine. So, you might crash, you might break a prop or rip a wheel off, but you just get some glue and tape and put it all back together. I had one with the Trojan that I'm flying with the flaps, the little 800 millimeter Trojan. One time I was landing and my daughter ran across the runway and it hit. Of course, it caught her, and she, what are you going to do? I mean, once you're on the ground, there's not a whole lot you can do. I tried to steer to avoid her, but I couldn't, and it hit the wing, hit her leg, and of course it's foam, so it didn't hurt her, but it broke the wing off. And so I went home and I took a hot, wet rag and I put it on the foam, and the foam expanded back out again. It doesn't work perfectly, but it came pretty close back to where it was, and with a little finger pressing and getting it heated, I was able to get the foam to expand back out again. And then I took toothpicks and glue and I pushed the wing back on, and then I painted. I put the little bit of, you know, paint to cover the area where I lost the paint chipped off, you know, and then I put a layer of packaging tape over it. You can't even tell. I mean, if you look close, you can see the packaging tape, but you could never even tell that wing was broken off. So a lot of times you can repair that kind of stuff, but you know, unfortunately, in the case of this airplane, it was just so badly banged up that I was like, well, you know, pieces have broken off and little, what do you call it? Like it crumbled. So it's like there's no rebuilding that. And I looked at the repairs to get new parts for it, and it was like $90 or more. It cost more than the airplane cost to repair it. So I was like, well, this one's a loss. So anyway, sad story. That one never made a video. I never made a video of that one, but I think I'm trying to think if there's pictures anywhere that I have of that airplane. But anyway, it was a sad one to lose. So I'm done rambling. One of the things I've noticed, I like these longer trips. However, it's a little harder because you don't get as much money in between. With the two drivers, they're doing okay. Oh, and I also found out, one of my viewers pointed out that Marion might be a man. Because apparently in Eastern European countries, spelling for his name, Marion, is actually male. It's the spelling for the male version of the name Marion. So I've been calling him a girl all this time. He kind of looks a little feminine, but he also kind of looks a little bit masculine. So it's kind of one of those, I guess, metro things. And then, ooh, I'm driving like a schmuck. Okay, I gotta get over. Thank you, Evelyn.
Are you recording?
I am recording right now, yes. Making some Euro Truck Simulator gold. I'll tell you what, guys, I am really loving this game. When I first got it, I played it for a little while and then quit for a bit. But I have been kind of junking out on it lately. I played... I didn't have a wedding today. It was the only Saturday this year that I don't have a wedding. And so I stayed up late and I played downstairs. I have a second profile that I use so that I want you guys to be able to see this profile. And so I was playing that. I played that till 3 o'clock in the morning. Oops. I'm like, oh man, I gotta go to bed. Now, granted, I didn't really start until almost 1 o'clock because I was playing with C Lampy or Colonel Tiny. Put that down. Yeah, one of my YouTube viewers was like, hey, you want to platoon? So we platooned up. We played World of Tanks. I got to run the A45. We also ran the Excelsior, which I had a horrible time in. And then we went over to World of Warships, and we were playing around. And boy, the St. Louis is a lot of fun. When I first got it, I didn't get it, but now that I've been playing for a while, I had we played Tier 4. I tried the Isuzushi Tier 4 battleship, and that tank, it kind of sucks. I only played one battle though, and it was against a bunch of Tier 5 battleships, so they were hitting me, and I couldn't hit them back because they were beyond my range. But then I couldn't even see them actually. Some of the time they were hitting me, and I couldn't even see them. And then let's see what else happened. Oh, and so then we took the St. Louis out, and he was running his he has a Erie. He's just starting in the game, so he's still playing the Tier 1 Erie. And I took the St. Louis, and we got a top tier battle with the St. Louis, and I sank 4 ships. I was like, yeah. I think I've hit 4 ships before, but that's the highest that I've ever scored. So 4 is good. All right, I'm gonna try to push this to. We got 10 hours and 40 minutes. I'm going to try to drive if I can until I have 8 hours. Let's take a look at the GPS. It says I have 4 hours of driving till I need to rest, but that's usually like an emergency stop at that point. So we got 10 hours here coming up, 33 minutes, 32 minutes. So the good news is I should be able to get to 8 hours, and then I can pull over and rest, because you're good for about 8 hours of driving before you have to rest. And you know, I was complaining earlier about not being able to pick how long you rest for, but I'm starting to get the hang of just resting for 8 hours, so I drive until I have to rest. Now, the one problem that I found with the Scandinavia DLC, and we'll go over this again when we get up there, there's a section between Norway and Sweden where it's not a rush, Evelyn, because I got to finish this video first. There's a section of Norway and Sweden where there are the rest stops are really few and far between, and so is gas. So you got to be real careful when you're kind of between those two areas. Hang on. You have to be real careful when you get up into that section of the map because there's nowhere to. Yeah, Ryan said it's tiny. Yeah, there's some of those real narrow exits. He was saying, "Hey man, how are the roads so small?" But anyway, there's a lot of places where you could possibly. I had one instance where I got a little bit lost, like I made a wrong turn and I had to go way down the road and back up again, and there was nowhere to stop to sleep, and I got fined over $1,000 in driving beyond sleeping offenses. So you got to be real careful when you're traveling in that area because it's you could get stranded, and if you can't find somewhere to sleep, you might be out of luck. So before you go, it was on my way it was like near the border of Norway and Sweden, kind of getting close to Oslo, Norway. So just be careful when you go up in that region that you might find that there's all these rest stops there where you get lulled into a false sense of security, like, oh, I'll be fine, and then you get to that one section and it's like, oh my gosh, I gotta rest, and there's nowhere to rest. I'm screwed. All right, so we're gonna pull over here. The good news too is that through the darkest part of the night for the video, I'll actually be sleeping. So probably what we'll do is we will take this episode. Yeah, you know, we might run the whole thing. This might be a longer episode. That way we get closer to this. Gotta hold that Alt key down, yeah. Yeah, you gotta hold it down.
I know, I forgot.
Okay. Make sure you press the button on the keyboard first. That way we get closer to Sweden. I think. Are we still in Germany? I can never tell from the map. Yeah, we're near Berlin, actually. So. That's why you gotta press the button on the keyboard first. And you're pressing the wrong key. It's Alt. Whoa. Okay, Evelyn, I gotta concentrate on driving. You'll have to figure it out. ALT. Alt. LT. Alt. 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 Alt.
You mean the one after FM?
No. There. This one.
No, I said it.
Evelyn. Evelyn from Hevelyn.
Turn off.
All right. So we are in Germany. I will say that the northern, aside from a lot of lakes and some amazing bridges, it's not like breathtakingly different. But it was pretty cool. It actually reminded me a lot of some time that I spent in Upper Michigan
Yes, I did.
and Wisconsin. Good job, Evelyn. She got it. So I was like, wow, this looks like Wisconsin, actually. Oh, no. Did I turn the wrong way? Wait a minute. Oh, no. I was looking at the wrong GPS. See, that's the only problem having the double GPS like that. Crap. What am I going to do now?
Turn around.
How am I going to turn around? This is like a major freeway. I'm going to have to get off. Dang it. Oh, well, that happens. That's the only problem of running two GPSs. It's probably better just to ignore the one on the dash and... crap. Well, let's take a look and see if we can drive off the road here. Oh, man, I got a long way to go. Oh, I'm going to go like an hour out of the way. This sucks. Okay, well, it happens.
Can I go into working mode, Dad? Because then it won't crash.
No, you got to do the other one. That doesn't work through the working mode.
Is it just spacebar?
Yep, or enter. See, you were talking to me about hitting the computer, and I'm looking the other way, and I missed the GPS. It's all your fault.
Not.
It's not. Oh, crap. I am going so far out of the way. Oh, it was funny. My wife and I, we took Mark to see a college in Pennsylvania, and I drove most of the night. And we were a little bit behind schedule. So she was like freaking out. And you know, I drove until maybe like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. We were supposed to be there around 9. And I'm like, I can't do it anymore. I got to sleep. So I went to sleep, and I woke up, and I'm seeing signs for Philadelphia, and I'm like, honey, you're like, we were supposed to get off before Philadelphia. It was maybe an hour before Philadelphia. It was like the Hershey area, and so, or Strasburg, like that area. She had totally missed the exit and drove like an hour in the wrong direction, and I'm like, oh, honey. Oh, like, you know what? This is saying we can go this way. So it's rerouted us, and it's about the same amount of time, so I'm just going to continue going straight. That stinks. It probably added an extra hour to our drive, but it's not a big deal. We have enough time built into the thing to get it going. So we do need to stop soon for sleep, though. As I'm getting close, he's going to start yawning soon. He'll go, huh? Right, exactly. Oh, good. It's going to bounce us across. Looks like we're going to get a cross beam here. Well, we'll get one in time. I mean, we'll find a sleeping place, I hope. I mean, we're in Germany. There should be plenty of places to stop. It's just when you get, like, way out in the country that it gets a little bit, lonely. Oh, this is a double lane off. Double off? Double Ausfahrt? Ausfahrt. All right, BCP, come on, pick it up. Bless you. Bless you. Well, I suppose these guys are going the speed limit, so... Getting emails like crazy now. Sometimes I'll go back and preview my videos, and then I hear that sound on my phone. I'm like, I swear I just heard it go off. Oh man, come on, guys! Oh, what was that? Freaking idiot! Why is that my fault? Oh, moron! He just drove into the side of my truck, and then I got fined for it.
You want a ticket for it?
Idiot! Oh, what a jerk! Did he damage my truck? Whoops, wrong button. Oh, good. Well, at least he didn't damage the freight. Whoops. All I really care about is the freight. I can always fix my truck, but I was hoping... It looked like he crashed into my trailer, and I was going to be angry. I was going to pull out a can of whoop... You know what? Whoop! Uh-oh. And now we're getting in... Please don't do that. Now you're going to have to erase all those. Now we're going to have to get into the area where the sleep is going to be a problem. I think I probably am going to have to bust this into 2 episodes. Because we've already been going for almost, I don't know, probably 40 minutes, right? YouTube's gonna get mad.
What?
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I can actually, I think at this point I can upload any size file that I want. It's no longer
Daddy,
Yes, Evelyn.
I'm waiting.
Yes, Evelyn. Well, I gotta get to a point where I can stop. I was cooking.
It's red.
I'm red? Oh no. Yeah, I'm here. I'm saying, oh yeah, we'll find somewhere to sleep, and there's nowhere. What the heck? Give me somewhere to sleep, guys. Oh, jeez.
Why would they sleep on the road?
Let's see what happens if I go on the map. Let's see what's around here. Hopefully there's... Oh my gosh, that's the nearest spot? Is that far away? I should have gotten off at Rostock. Jeez. Well, I guess that's not too far. That looks maybe about 10 minutes more. I'm going to get fined. I'm going to keep my speed up because
Don't go too fast.
hopefully I won't get a ticket, but I have my cruise control set to 110 kilometers an hour. Totally recklessly speeding through Germany. Turn our brights on. Hopefully I won't get a ticket, but I have my cruise control set to 110 kilometers an hour. Totally recklessly speeding through Germany. Turn our brights on. Hopefully I won't get a ticket, but I have my cruise control set to 110 kilometers an hour. Totally recklessly speeding through Germany. Sorry, oncoming traffic, but this is for the sake of my YouTube viewers. So you can actually see the road. I know I'm getting tired. I know. I see it. I hear him yawning. I get it.
You're gonna sleep. Go sleep. What happens if you fall asleep on the road?
I haven't gone that far. Usually he just starts blacking out, but he just keeps going. And you get fines. They charge you money. Every 3 minutes maybe, or 2 minutes, you get fined $150. Or euros. Oh, yeah. Merrick bringing home $2,300. Good job, Merrick. Let's see more of that. One of my drivers. Oh, sorry. Now, one of the things about the Scandinavia DLC that I really like is that a lot of the drop-off places are very unique, whereas like in the regular game, or the regular portion of the game, they're just sorry, I'm blinding everybody here. Like they're all the same. So from city to city, all the drop-off points are the same, but up in Scandinavia, Norway, Sweden, all that stuff, it actually, there's the gas station right there, Chuck. It's actually each pull-in place is different. Sometimes you'll find a construction site. Sometimes you'll find like a depot for chemicals. Sometimes you'll find a store, but the entrance is around the back, and they're very different looking than the ones that are already in game. It adds a lot that way. I thought that was pretty cool.
Hey,
Yes, Evelyn.
why didn't you go to the closer gas station?
That one was on the wrong side of the road. You said, oh. Well, the good news is I didn't have to turn around. And while we're here, we're going to grab some gas. If you're in the gas station, you might as well get gas, right? Of course, this will probably be my doom. I'll end up getting fined for this. Because I'm still... and this is the funny thing. If you're tired and you're pumping gas, you'll still get fined. If you're not parked and sleeping. Like just right now, if I just sat here for a couple minutes, I'll end up getting fined. Even though I'm not actually on the road. It's stupid.
What just happened?
I had to pay for the gas. So this is an interestingly designed parking lot. That guy is now not going to be able to get out. He'll have to back out. Erk! Why am I not getting the E-rest thing? Oh no.
What?
My trailer's too long. There we go. I'll have to pull right up to this guy. Yep. Wait, did it go away?
Yeah, you have to pull back.
Wow, that's a real small zone there. Alright, so E. And we're going to rest.
Remember, don't sleep again.
Alright, so yeah, don't sleep again. Evelyn's telling me you're right. So here we go. Marion's made some money for us overnight. Another couple $1,000s. And we are going to call it quits here for this episode. And we'll pick up tomorrow with the high value cargo. I'm going to take a photo here for the picture so you guys can see it when I'm starting to do... I hope you guys like the new intro, by the way. Anyway, have a great night, guys. Be sure to subscribe, and we will continue on this journey later on. See you on the road. Good night. Oh, one thing I wanted to point out real quick, and I forgot to do this, and we actually forgot to put our beacons on. When you're carrying a large load, that's why I put these beacons on the truck. I may change them, though. I found other ones that I like better. These are kind of... I don't know, they look kind of corny on there.
Is this?
Yeah. Where do I go to do that? It's F4. You turn the beacon on, and then one of the funny things is that if you have a large load, like what we have here, you turn your beacons on, you actually get beacons on the back, too. And I'd noticed this yesterday when I was driving a load. You don't have to have the high-value cargo pack to have that work. This trailer happens to have this on it. But I was hauling some lift trucks, and it had that going. So if you turn your beacon on the truck, it'll actually turn the beacon on the back, too, just like a real wide load. So, and that's the other thing, too. In the high-value cargo pack, I'll show you this later, I think. Well, maybe I can get in there. Let's see. If I go to new upgrades, and I go to paint.
Can I turn this fan off? It's making me freeze.
Ooh, what's this? Oh, no, it's okay, so it's expensive. We want to go to... Oh, we can't. It won't let us go in. We'll have to stop, and I'll show you that in the next episode. There's some really cool new paint jobs. Now, I don't want to... This truck, I love the paint job. I don't want to change it. But they have some, like, hazardous cargo paint jobs that come with the high-value cargo. So, anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you before I dump off. So anyway, once again, have a great night. Be sure to subscribe. If you like the video, be sure to thumbs up because that helps our channel a lot. And I will see you guys on the road.